Poodle's Cat coming at you with hiking, biking, kayaking, kayak kit, first aid. This is again a kit I got from Toronto Firefighters, and I added some stuff to it. This one should be in much better shape than the home kit because I frequently take this with me when I'm kayaking and hiking. It's heavy, it's bulky. This is about the minimum I would advise for an overnight first aid trip, because first aid is one of those things. If you need it, you're really going to need it. And a couple of band-aids and a surgical scrubbing brush won't do the job. First pocket. No surprise, following along, a selection of disposable cheap gloves. Sterile. Yeah, probably. Also, surgical gloves. I like surgical gloves because when you put them on, they fit and they're strong and they're resistant to ripping. And in a first aid situation, I don't want to get somebody's blood and vomit and feces all over my hands. It's annoying. Maybe that's what the surgical scrub brush is for. Get the poop out of your fingernails. So as you can see, for weight and size, I'm sacrificing organisation. It basically would get dumped out. I do this one fairly rapidly. I'm just going to grab stuff, show it and say why I'm keeping it or discarding it. First off, a tourniquet. Always useful. Stopgap. It is not a rat's tourniquet. I need to add one, I know that. These came with it. Gauze, cheap but okay. Cheap. Plastic. Get rid of them. They gave me alcohol pads, so they're basic pads, but they're still obviously moist, so I'll keep them good for fire starting. I did put my own tape in this. Good tape is what you need, not bad tape. A bunch of N95 masks. Why N95 masks? Why so many? I'm not sure. I'm going to pare them down. This is what I mean about bandages that come with kits. They're really not worth keeping. They don't last. All of this is garbage. I'll replace it with hospital stuff. Really, check out your first aid kit. Pretty much these cheap bandages, whenever they come in kits, are just not worth having. Alrighty, there's a container. We'll go through that. They're cheap tape. Why do they keep this when I have good tape? I have no idea. Ouch. Sponges that they sent me. Okay. Oh my goodness. I think I have enough safety pins. They're not rationalised. Saline to squirt and irrigate wounds and eyes. I put that in there. Now I promised to show you this. These are, the make is actually Tegaderm, but there's lots of different makes of these. They are sterile inside the packet. They're absolutely excellent for small wounds and burns and abrasions, especially when you are out in the wilds. They come like this. You can actually write the date and time. They're actually designed for intravenous dressings. The beauty of these is they're very easy for me to put on myself in the wilds. The other beauty of these, and you're going to love this one, is for small burns and superficial burns. These allow sweating out but don't allow water in, and they last a long time. Now one of the things you should never do is put dressings on like that. Always have one edge curled. Do this for bandages as well. So when you take them off, you've already got this piece here and you just go bang. Proper dressings, lots of them, lots of pad dressings, I need them for sure. Eye dressing, yep. This is I wanted in the other kit as well, scalpel blade, disposable scalpel blade. It's sterile inside here, very good for removing chunks of dead flesh and other issues, on opening a wound deeper to actually get into it deep enough to clean it. Absolutely essential. This is, you can't see it of course, but these are sterile scissors with metal tweezers, so I'll definitely be keeping them. Disposable nitrile gloves, I'll keep them in the pack. Quick clot, hospital use. Some more dry dressings, keep them. Comfeel. Now this is a good product. These are used for ostomies and stuff like that, which I won't get into technically, but they're actually good for deep burns dressings if you need to get it covered, and in the wild you need to get it covered. Big Tegaderm as well. I'm experiencing here a full leg or a full arm burn from an accident, right? I want to be able to cover it to get out. Some more pads. It's good good for blisters and also for joint injuries. This is also for, it's called Muplex, it's good quality stuff. Yep, I put the alginate in here, seaweed, it actually helps it keep sterile, actually a good dry dressing on top of burns. More safety pins! Out! Good quality dry dressing, brand name of course, because that's money to me. Has its own elasticated border, so when you take it out it's sterile, and when you actually pull the plastic off this it will stick down. Really good for abdominal type wounds and for long arm wounds. More dressing material. You see how much dressing materials I've got in this first aid kit for my use in the wilds? When you bleed, you bleed. You bleed a lot. Oh yeah, okay. I might not put this back in. You'll hear over and over people say, emergency blankets, you know, the silver blankets, great treatment for shock. No, they're not. The main treatment for shock is not to be shocked, to elevate the legs above the heart and rest the person, unless it's a snake bite in the leg, in which case I don't have that problem up here, and if you live near snakes, you want to make sure they're your friends. And you want to hydrate people. And yes, in August, I will get Kitty to film me orally hydrating using my rectum. You can and should be able to infuse water and salt solutions into somebody's bottom and hold it there for an hour or two to rehydrate them. Dehydration is going to be the #1 killer in a first aid situation. A triangular bandage and headscarf apparently. Ribbon gauze, you can pack wounds with this stuff, it's sterile inside here if you salt it with water first, and you can also use this as a covering dressing. Scissors! Why are these still in here? I have scissors, sterile scissors. I don't actually need these. The reason these are in here is for cutting toenails, which is actually one of the #1 issues I have with my health when I'm on extended kayaking and hiking trips, is that my toenails get long and I need to cut them. And I don't necessarily want to open up the sterile scissors to do it. They're not the greatest scissors from hospitals to do it with, but these will do. Again, you can see the quality of bandages you're getting. Most of the cheap kits have terrible quality. This is a hospital one. It's intact. It's still able to be used. Keep. These are cleaning solutions on sticks. Very useful if you've got a cut around the ear or on the back, something like that. This is a thermometer. I'm a big fan of thermometers and I like them, and as you can see it works, and I'm just going to come back and show you my temperature. It's in Fahrenheit. It's old. 96.8. I'm happy with that. Turn it off to keep the battery going. These things will last forever. Some Kevlar. This is a pad. When you open it up and you put it not in the wound but around the wound, it actually causes a barrier to be formed, a plasticated barrier that lasts some time. So again, it's designed for ostomies, people who have to poop out of their abdomens and urine out of their abdomens because of surgical procedures. But this is absolutely fantastic for actually protecting light scrapes and abrasions in the wilds and stopping dirt and soil getting into them. Never ever trust technology. Battery might fail. The aliens might have a special EMP that destroys it. Paper disposable thermometers. I want to know how feverish somebody is, because that's going to dictate what I'm going to do. Above certain temperatures, for example 39 centigrade, moving the casualty can kill them. This is an integral package that I put in myself. I'm going to show you what's in it. A bar of soap, very essential in the wilds for first aid and sanitation, something you may not have. Sterile saline to irrigate wounds with, suture material, cleaning material, and various pieces of dressing material for very specific points of view that I might need in the wilds. So that's what I put together for my kit. And that's it for this kit. What I need in this kit is I really need to have a decent tourniquet in it, I think. And I also need to put in some sutures, and I think I'm basically going to be done with this kit. What do you think? What would you take out into the wilds? You notice I'm not taking Tylenol, I'm not taking aspirin, I'm not taking ibuprofen, but there is one medication I do take. Can you guess what it's for? Now you've probably heard of Dramamine and stuff like that. This is Diamond Hydrate, which is what it actually is, and it's a cheap version of it. And the reason I take this, and obviously we'll take it in this type of packaging, and I won't take all of them, is because if you have severe nausea or vomiting, giving it per PR, per rectum, is how to get an anti-nausea, anti-vomiting medication into you to stabilize you enough, to drink enough, to evacuate from the wilds. If you rely on tablets in a nausea situation, you might not be able to keep them down. You should be able to keep this up, providing you've been doing your Kriegels. Went together again fast, in no time at all. I'm confident having this kit there I can deal with most issues that I might experience. But you can't prepare for all medical first aid scenarios in the wilds. Obviously, if I have poisonous snakes, I need to have anti-venom and stuff like that with me. I don't, so I don't need that, so I'm not going to have that. And if I had to bug out so far south that I had to have anti-venom, I probably wouldn't be carrying the anti-venom at that point. I'd probably be in quite the state. Anyway, that's it from me. Remember, in SHTF, if you don't prepare, tomorrow will always be worse than today. So get prepping. And like I say, take this as an opportunity to actually grab every first aid kit you've got, open it up, take everything out, don't root through it, take everything out, put back into the kit what you want in that kit, leave stuff out like plastic tweezers, which honestly are not worth carrying. Make sure you replace them with metal tweezers. Make sure that your scissors will do the job. So I've seen a few prepper videos where they actually teach intratracheal intubation and nasopharyngeal intubation as part of first aid emergency response. And as of itself, there's nothing really wrong with that learning. It's just that in a condition of grid down, having to use a manual bag resuscitator and intubate, access the airway via a tube, it's not really worth doing unless you're doing it to anesthetize them and do surgery. The chances of recovery in that situation is pretty much zero, and the time and effort spent on those people would probably be better rewarded by spending on people who are ill but not as ill. So remember, in SHTF, tomorrow will always be worse than today unless you prep. So get prepping, and now sit back and enjoy some gifts. And get out all your med kits, pull everything out of the med kit and only put back in what's functional, and buy stuff to replace what's broken or useless or you think you might need. Toodles.